Hey guys, Mark. I'm making a series of videos tonight. I don't know how you'd be able to know which ones came just before this, depending on what platform you're on or not on, but I want to stop and just simply tell you about our new product. I'm not just going to give you the pitch that I've practiced. We can now make for you a 3-minute ad. We make it in a very proprietary, particular way to be able to do it with the parameters I'm going to speak to you about. If we do it some other way, it has to be different. But we have a very particular kind of ad that we do. It takes us about 3 or 4 minutes to create the ad. And I'll even stop and tell you how we do that. What I do is this. I get the business owner on the phone. Okay? I put that phone that she's on speaker. And then I set up another phone like this where I'm talking, but the other phone's on speaker so you guys can hear her. And we start the clock, and I say, ladies and gentlemen, we're visiting today with Sharon Bethany, who has a piano repair business in, Cheddar Cheese, Wisconsin. And so please consider, if your piano needs repair, why, give her a call. Her number's 407-555-1313 or whatever it is. I made that number in a fictitious way like they do in the movies, so it's not a real number. And this is, of course, a fictitious person I'm making up. And then we just, we might say a tagline, or I might say 1 or 2 jokes. And by then the 3 minutes is up, or 4 or 2 or whatever. And I say, well, Sharon, take care. So she's done. She can hang up and go back to her day. In the meantime, I start a clock. We've made the ad, and now the verbal contract says that within 171 minutes, I will send that video that I just created out to 211 million people. I think that's it. It used to be billions, but we cut it back because I've been running beta tests on this for weeks with other numbers, and I've had to change the numbers to make sure it's doable. So what I do is I just take the thing I just made, the ad, on a phone like this, and I put it into any of the following social media platforms that are available at that moment, given, whether they're down or whether I'm loading so much other stuff they won't load another thing. And I usually go, generally speaking, in the order of YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and then I'll try to do TikTok. On a phone like this, in this Samsung Galaxy program, these companies come up automatically, like another set does on YouTube. So I'll just send it out to as many of these as I can. And the other thing I forgot to say is when I'm on the phone with the client at the beginning, I try to tape something like this on 2 phones so that I can make very sure that I can get to the 211 million people. Now, I know I've been studying all the social medias, the first top 60 in America, the ones that play big in America. And I know that things like YouTube and Facebook especially have daily users in the amounts of like over 200 or close to 200 million. I think one's 187 and one of them is 193 or something close to that, 200 million. So if I can get both of them, which is not a given, by the way, but if I can, I'm pretty well over the 211 million that I promised the client. If I have to go farther down the line, like X, LinkedIn, TikTok, then it gets a little hairier. I will have to go, get some other platforms that are not as popular or do more work faster or something. But generally speaking, within 171 minutes, we can get it out to 211 million people. And so we do that. It's an impressive product. Most people are impressed with it for some reason. I think it's all the play of numbers. Anyway, so we charge for this. I've done hundreds and hundreds of things for free over the years. We do charge for this. We're going to charge $193.91. That is to say, $193.91. I think on whatever social media platform you're watching this, I'm not allowed to put my phone number or my email or anything. And I got written up by TikTok the other day and thrown off their live. So I'm trying to be more careful. But happily, well, not happily, but at least I'm prevalent enough on the internet that if you Google my full name, Mark, M-A-R-C, Isaac, I-S-A-A-C, Potter, P-O-T-T-E-R, you should be able to find my real phone number and my real email and just leave a message saying I'd like to do one of those ads, or I'd like to talk about doing one of those ads. That's kind of become our bread and butter. So I love you guys. I don't know what I'll do. I'll probably take a break because I made so many videos today. I don't have a VA, virtual assistant, to help me post everything. So, I can make, 10, 12 ads a day probably, and I won't have any. When you post them from a phone, it takes a lot of time. If I wait and if I post this directly now from here to Zoom, that takes time, but the others won't, going from Zoom. But I've got so much stuff over at Zoom that I wouldn't even keep track of it, and this wouldn't go out probably for 2 or 3 weeks, so it's a good news, bad news kind of thing, If I push the button on this now, it will get to you sooner, but it will take maybe as much as half an hour to post to any one site. So, yeah, I love you guys a lot. I hope to make a decent, this product at $193 is pretty reasonable. So if I could make, even 5 or 6 sales like that in a month, or God forbid 10 in a month, and we tape the show. We have 24 taping slots every week that are available to be filled. So, yeah. All right, spread the word if you can, if it's not too much to ask. I know everybody and his dog ask you to spend your time telling the whole world about some other guy's product. I think it's reprehensible. I think the whole selling and capitalist thing is reprehensible, but I live in what used to be America, so I got to make the rent. I'm $500 behind on the rent. I tried to buy groceries 3 or 4 days ago, 5 days ago, 7 days ago, and I put in $97 worth of groceries and it bounced. Then a few days later, I put in a $47 order and that bounced. And then I just, a few days ago, I borrowed some money from a friend that was keeping it on my behalf. It was supposed to get used for buying me a decent computer, but I asked her to send me the money instead, and so with that money I've been buying food for the month. So I'd love to give you my phone number. the immediacy of you having it would be helpful, but they don't allow it, and they don't have a verbal copy of their, anybody doesn't have a verbal copy of their terms of service and their community guidelines, so I can't go through peculiarly enough to find the real truth about what's allowed and not allowed. So, all right, later, kids. I love you. God bless you, sweetie. Take care.